Hues of you reflect off sullen, liquid eyes, staring to wispy evaporations, entangled in elevation. Feet lightly motor, motioning the mind ahead. Others mirror in action and appearance, their eyes full of water and sight. A stretching path into the city. No automobiles, no noise, only clouds and silence. Optics in the orb. Little bodies move, some in tune, some moving true, some seeing through this planet blue. Grayed rain falls to broken wheels, lying in the street beside a thin and wiry, worried blue being. Oh no, oh no! Fingers frantically grip shapes, placing pieces in place. Here then goes into here and right here, hymns out through petite lips. As arms bend, rotating in direction. Attached spoke to soul. Laughter rings from behind, spurring attention in a circle. If you do it this way, it's much simpler. An old, larger blue body butts in, bending over, bulging stomach cysts, taking the remaining parts from the fingers of their peer. This way, and spin and twist and tighten, the blue belly huffs out. Actually, I prefer it my way. Truthfully, it happens often, and I'm used to this. The belly continues bulging. Well, if it's fixed right, it won't break. Trust me, I'm older, I know this. The light worrisome offbeat blue turns red, staring at the back wrinkles of the dark, freckled, blue-skinned skull. This is my bike and tools though, and I didn't ask. Fingers reach in, taking the possessions back. Well, don't get pissy now. I'm just trying to help. The wheel drops and falls apart. See? If it weren't for you, we'd already be halfway fixed. We? The trembling arm grabs the wheel. Whoever asked? And who even are you? I'm your elder. Elder? If you were an elder, would you even be here? Proud to unsure, weary eyes look into the tight-faced, tense brows. Our elders have failed us. The trembling arms go back to wielding the wheel. What's repetition matter? The wheel spokes lightly spin like a reflective fan. The wide, long-toenailed blue toes rub against rubble. I suppose. The two look from their feet to the skyline of near buildings. A disheveled being stumbles from a window, staring a confused look at the two. The being straps their hanging overall strap and turns back, quickly climbing a ladder. You see that? The older blue quickly and curiously asks. Yeah, the young one whispers, setting the wheel aside. But who was that?
Two stumbling, broken down blues in nothing but dumpy shoes wave their arms, pleading to whom? Please help! Help! Orb is all! Be one with Orb! 88 expressions of eager faces pass by, entering the doors of a towering arena. The smaller of the broken blues looks to the other in shoes. Keep saying these prayings, I know the fool. If we can get inside, we can get to him, so be cool. Scared, shaky eyes nod back. Orb! Oh, Orb! Oh, shall we survive? Please let us inside. A small crab tickles and tacks its tips on the concrete, pounding with hurried feet. I need to see him. I need to get in, a youth blue says, with tickets in hand, passing through the bodies and bodies of blue. Hey, you! The youth looks to the shoes where the crab climbs up too. Yeah, you! The smiling face says, peering down. You believe in the orb, don't you? Don't you believe in what's good? The taller blue in shoes peers over the shoulder, down to the youth. Don't you? Shaking cheeks look to the steely ice eyes. I just want to get in, he steps back. I just want to see if it's true, is added with a turn and, see you! Yeah, don't we all, falls out of the lips as the bodies grow thin, collapsing in, for the show readies to begin.
The youth stands, looking to the dim, yet shining lighting bouncing off all the heads staring in unison to the show taking place inside a large, 3-layered roped ring. Sculpted bodies bounce, hit, and smack off one another in coordination as wide-ranging abstract acoustics lightly, yet fully fill the airy rectangular room. Bending lights shift around the audience, and a pink flight of photons pierces the pupils of the floating performer all eyes are placed upon. Ah! The light red glowing hand blocks out the beams. He looks to his feet and to the eyes all in seat. He turns and floats, moving away. His shimmering skin soon dims. Phew! The crowd gasps, whispering within. The bodies below ramp their rate, swinging and pulling in a heightening pace. An arm swings high, hitting the performer's leg, flickering his glow, slowly fluttering down to the floor. No! The youth whispers, as do many, many more. No! No! Small planes fly down from the ceiling, dropping microscopic soldiers, covering and taking down bouncing bodies. The crowd reacts in a shock, breaking loose from their seats as the stage collapses. Eyes blink. 2 pair of shoes shine off from the rush. The limp performer's body reacts, shaking off the tickling sensation of controlled killers. The shining shoes move and a smile stares through. His red hands push off the moving floor of black dot soldiers and jumps up off the big falling bodies that surround. He looks to the ceiling, then to the sea of panicked blue population. He looks to his pattered shoes and bounces from one body's shoulder to the next, higher and higher up the arena seating. Dangling from a railing, he pulls himself to. Hey, it's you! Holy shit, I can't believe it's you! He gives a nod and continues through, higher as screams echo out of tune. You're blue like us! You're blue like us! A pack of blues yell as he passes to the top towards a square open window. You're not special! The performer hops up onto the open square and perks for a moment, taking in the gray-skied air. He looks back to the chaos ensuing. The blue youth stares and sees the outline of the performer atop the square. What's true? figure slowly falls out, vanishing into the light. What should I do? The youth looks around as the crowd swallows whole, wavering a sea of dark blue. 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 I'm not blue.
Stumbling off a roof and down a few more, the performer stands weary, breathing in damp air. He looks to a long line of apartment buildings lined along a wet street. Walking towards setting sunlight and the horizon's line, over his shoulder, his unstrapped strap flows freely in the wind. A tiny dot positions itself in the dark hollowness of the clip as the performer readies to knock on the door of a home of four. A small bob in blue sits with headphones over each ear in a plush purple bean chair. Her eyes rest shut as she sways her head back and forth, smiling, squishing her cherry-berry cheeks, pushing her eyes deeper within. Red hues grow along with the sonic painting as fairies emerge and multiply in threes. She giggles, along with the winged entities growing larger and larger in her vision. Don't forget, don't forget. The strawberry red swirl she swims through soon turns to the white walls of the living room as her eyes open to the hunched over back of the performer, sitting towards her right. She looks forward to a chemist cooking across from her in the kitchen. Dad! A fusion of smoke and steam erupt and boil over. The performer takes off his headphones and looks from a glass board. Chem, what are you doing? He asks as the chemist dances around boiling liquid while carrying infant blue. I'm cooking! He shouts from turning down flames. What are you doing besides having the world's government after you? Performing a show? Are you kidding me? The chemist laughs, waving the baby blue's hand at the performer, who smiles and sinks back in the couch. I made a little track just now, as a matter of fact. He motions to the glass. The chemist sets the infant on the kitchen counter. You want to hear? The performer adds. Yes! The little one says excitedly. Chem? I suppose. He comes into the room and sits beside the performer on the couch. Let's hear it, he says with a grin. The performer leans in towards the glass and taps. Sweetie, where's your brother? She goes, I think in the back in his room. The chemist nods. You have a son? The performer asks. The chemist gives an awkward look. Oh, yeah, that. He chuckles. Well, let's listen. The performer swipes his red finger along the glass, amping the volume. Don't forget before you leave, I have a care package for you, the chemist says. You'll need it. Close your eyes. It's better, the performer says. Man, mate, when was the last time I seen you? It's been quite some time, that's for sure. Yeah. Wow. It's beautiful. You just made this, just now, the chemist asks. Yeah, mate says. The chemist's eyes shut, drifting his head along with his daughter's. You got any words for it? Mate thinks. Said my name's mate and looking for a date, huh? Said my name's mate and I'm looking for a date, huh? The chemist and daughter, baby blue, each laugh and drift into the song more. These motherfuckers know where I'm at, come get me then. These motherfuckers know where I'm at, come get me then. Damn, mate, the chemist says and sits up. These motherfuckers know where I'm at, come get me then. The
chemist moves his eyes from the furry carpet below to a small speck dot standing on the table.
They do know where you're at, the chemist whispers.
Mate! He shouts, grabbing him. They do know where you're at! What? He shakes. Mate! Look! He points to the dot soldier. Mate's eyes drop as the chemist runs to the kitchen, opens it, ignites a small glass box. Mate! He looks back. Throw it! Throw it here! Mate looks down and reaches fast for the dot. Throw it! Mate flicks his red finger and the microscopic soldier cartwheels through the air, going into the glass box and combusts. You gotta go now, the chemist says. Back door, there's a bag I got for you. He shouts, running to the front door, opening it. Go, mate! Chem, Mate says, standing looking for the little blue with fiery red hair. Mate, go! I've been waiting for the day to stop these cocksucking motherfucking governors, motherfuckers! He shouts, looking to the door as choppers fly too. Go, mate! Do what you're meant to! Mate nods to the chemist and his children, who begin strapping up in gear. Thank you, he says, and turns to a tight hallway. Noises come from the room to his right, where a large gel-like mound slowly slugs out from him. Oh my, Mate says, passing by the slimy trail that travels into the hall. He turns into the other room, spotting a small plastic bag with a syringe. Mate grabs it and jumps out a window on a metal platform and ladder. He steps out and sees a pair of blues, one tall and thin, the other short and round, and the street below, staring back. Mate takes a step back, strapping the strap of his blue overalls as he makes his way up a ladder.
Upon sifting through visions, the performer's act has become increasingly troubling as he refuses to follow suit.
Yes, your orb, a small blue dot says. But many do. What makes this blue, creature so significant?
There's a growing reach he's touching. For the planet to operate correctly, the system and vision must be followed. The skills he bears are built for the system. Though he isn't participating, he's rebelling. If unconsciously, then he just needs adjusting.
What if he's doing it purposefully? The other blue dot asks.
If conscious decisions are made to create what he does, there will be major repercussions faced. The system works by mirroring behavior, creating illusions of idyllic joy, love, and acceptable behavior. A created escapism of idea and deceit, expectation and paradise. A world where the system works on itself, where followers follow and can recreate the images they see, the thoughts they hear, and actions we provide. Our very own workers, without a thought of their own.
Brilliant. The two blues say, taking in the orb's dull shine.
Though this behavior, this individual energy, it is not fitting. It is deeply problematic, deeply influential. If he fancies himself as such an individual, we can make him very, very isolated. Find him.
Beneath a rotating rotary engine, Mate's arm rests over his rolling eyes. Wind chimes echo from a blind distance as the chirps of birds ring back from one reception to the other. Is this home? Sunlight shines down into the dark-holed pupils. Ah! A baby's soft giggle sounds from the room painted in blue. A female walks too. Mate, who are you? The baby giggles turn to cries, swirling in open air. There's no roof, Mate notices, looking up, where a large face slowly descends down, coming into view. Its eyes stare as the mouth opens, speaking out a dialect undetected. It's inevitable. Mate looks forward to a fish-like man. The thin, clammy lips of his mouth wrap from ear to ear of its cone-shaped head. Bulging dead fish eyes swirl as the body walks towards, opening its wide mouth, collapsing and crawling onto the white floored ground. Its tongue stretches out with teeth growing from gums, gnawing at a knob head growing in girth.
Watch your feet.
What? Mate says, looking to his toes and a floor that's no more, only revealing a door with yellow fumes permeating from the crack. Mate reaches for the rubber knob and turns.
Walk forward.
Mate looks to the yellow and green tinted clouds surrounding around the winding path he takes.
Walk more.
The voice says into the murky depths, swallowing senses.
You're almost there.
Mate squints and coughs as the fine precipitation burns the cords tucked tight in his throat. Red flakes fall from his shoulders as rashes react. Ah! He collapses. His nails slide from skin, and he reaches out, pulling on coarse strands of hair planted in the ground. This is madness. His bent-over neck rises up to two dark silhouettes staring through the distant sea.
Come on, mate.
He looks to a large jelly-like ball revolving in itself, floating above. This isn't my dream. He struggles standing, snapping both legs. Ah! He cries and shouts, looking to the sharp pieces of bones piercing out. He pokes at one, popping his finger, puddling blood. Mate stares above to the endless space existing atop him. He breathes heavily. You're stronger. You are. He closes his eyes. Small faces on white spinning flower petals sing smooth chords. The jelly being floats down, with its round dark center opening. The faces begin to slowly turn convoluted and deformed. A blade floats around and nears the stem, cutting its life. No! Mate's eyes open and sees a dark round shadow high in the clouds above, as the jelly ball sifts lower and lower, swallowing Mate. The shiny, squishy skin digests the jagged body sliding down into gestation and dives into the dense moving hair.
We've got him.
Waves crash on rocks beneath a steep 400-foot flat stone wall.
Mate's hands grip the two outer of 3 bars in a 2x2 foot window. An orange sky exists with crystal reflections shining from the shore to sun's core. That water's fake, you know, comes from Mate's left. It's plastic. Not even like really real plastic either. A thin, older blue says through the tiny holes of the cell walls. Look closer. Mate tightens his eyes, looking to the water. Look how it crashes, but then the recede. Mate stands on his tiptoes. It disintegrates, he says. Exactly. Mate comes down from the window into the wall. What else isn't real here? He asks. Laughter comes from the holes. D7? A shout comes from behind, accompanied by metal bending footsteps. Inmate D7! The voice shouts again as Mate looks forward to a faceless blue in a tight suit. A blue officer and his robotic partner geared with 2 triangle-shaped legs. Please open, sir, the faceless blue says to the officer now tapping at a touchscreen, sliding the airlock door open. Mate takes a breath. How's that air taste, D7? Mate gives a stare and then looks to the cell wall. Now please, if we can get a moment of your time, say no more than a sunset, okay? Great, bring him, adds the faceless blue as the officer and robot handcuff Mate and escort him from the metal cell. Walk, the robot says, as the officer remains dumb and mute. The 4 move through a thin, brightly lit hallway with doors numbered D/ the next number up along with small orbs painted and framed in the center. We'll take the elevator to get to A, and from there, that's when I can take him, boys, the faceless blue says, leading the pack forward down the stretching hall lit by one long light embedded in the ceiling. A gust of dust pushes out from the force of the elevator coming down, getting into the eyes of Mate. He shakes his head. Settle, D7, we're almost there. Mate's vision blurs in and out of sight as he's pushed into the cylinder tube. Up we go. The force pushes up against Mate's knees, quickly accelerating with patches of blurred light passing by the millisecond. A bell dings, and the tube quickly opens. Very fine of you, gentlemen, the faceless blue says, pushing Mate out of the elevator into a liquid black tiled hallway. The 2 of us shall continue on, it adds, to the tube sealing up and vanishing down, as their 2 footsteps move along, echoing the only vibrations. It'll be the 5th door on the right, D7. Mate looks along the walls to more orb paintings lining the hall. At the hall's end is a large mounted glowing portrait of the orb's outline. Mate slows, staring to a large round window above, exposing dark, vast space. Follow forward, the faceless blue says, kicking Mate in the calf. 2 more on the right. Move it! Mate gets shoved once more, past the door with the faceless blue passing by, fingering with keys. This isn't my office. Now come in! Mate sits on a stool across from the faceless blue, smoothing the front of its suit. A table divides the 2. On it, a single folder. Now, the faceless blue sits. Inmate D7. The round, featureless face stares into Mate's. I've been looking forward to this moment quite much. Mate sits silent. For well, I must say you are a very intriguing case. The blue starts to open the folder. You're such a, how should I say, visible character. You're sure not timid of, putting yourself out there. The faceless blue continues, looking at documents in the folder. And your work. Very good. Very good. The faceless blue looks to a paper and then closes the folder. Inmate D7. The dull face pauses. Disordinance with state media and expression is a very, very punishable crime. Now, due to someone of, how should I say, your aptitude, we come to some possible options and viable routes we can take that would benefit each yourself and the planets. I want a trial, Mate says. Huh? The faceless blue remarks. Oh, I don't think you do, it laughs. I do. And I'm defending myself, That's all I have to say, so save your words. The faceless Blue pushes its chair back and stands. I don't think you quite understand the implications of that, inmate D7. My name's Mate. Now, come on. I want to go back. Inmate D7. A trial of this size will require a full council of elders. Summon them then. You want me to give you a show? I'll give you a show, Mate says. Now let's go. He adds and heads towards the office door. Inmate D7. Mate turns around. You want a trial? Fine. A trial will be done. Though I'm warning you, do not get too mouthy. The elders have I. Will your orb be presiding? Mate cuts off the Blue, who now recomposes itself. There will be a presence in attendance. Good, Mate nods. Okay then. Get ready. A mist floats into the light behind a bright red cardinal, gripping its claws tightly to topping branch tips. Water hits the face. The cardinal hops from one limb to another and flies off. The water cuts. Inmate opens his eyes to a steel wall. He turns back to a guard's silhouette showing through steamed glass.
Time's moving, Mate. The outfit you've requested is on the bench to your left.
Mate looks to his red toes squirm against the metal tub.
Give you 5 minutes.
The guard's shadow falls away. Mate wipes his face and slides the glass door left into the wall. He reaches for a towel and looks to his outfit folded on a bench below. Crouched in a mirror, Mate rubs dark paint in a circular motion onto his left eye. He dips his fingers into the small vial and crosses an X over his right. He stands and grabs a hat, putting it atop his head. He pulls the strap beneath his chin and adjusts the hat, positioning it on the back left area of his head. He takes a step back and pats his long red arms down his light blue overalls, with a large stitched broken heart patched on the center chest. He slides his feet into a white pair of shoes and turns to the door behind. He turns his head, checking himself head to the floor.
Mate,
A voice says from outside.
time to go.
Mate looks forward and out the dark frame. He turns back and reaches for the dark paint, dipping his 2 fingers in, swiping them in a frown motion from cheek to cheek. He grins and then exits. Walking in front of a large guard, Mate looks to the long, narrowing hall that stretches ahead. Footsteps and echoing cheers sound through the concrete above. The cold air raises goosebumps on Mate's shoulders.
You've done these sorts of things, correct?
The guard nervously asks.
Because this is my first, well, I think maybe the first big trial like this in our planet's history. I'm not sure though. I've always heard stories of...
No, Mate says. I've never done anything like this before.
Are you nervous?
Mate looks ahead as they near a dark blue door with a single knob on its left. If nobody's ever done this before, nobody knows anything, Mate remarks as he gets to the door. The guard holds him and places him in cuffs.
I just want you to know, I am a fan. We do believe in
The guard says, as he moves in front of Mate. Mate takes a deep breath and straightens his shoulders.
you. Well, this is it. Good luck, Mate.
The guard adds, opening the door to tall walls of blues, filling the air with shouts, screams, and boos, coming down onto the skin and into the ears of Mate. He walks alone down a narrow path with blues jammed squished on each side. Arms push in and with saliva spraying from yelling mouths as Mate slowly wobbles side to side down the thin walkway, taking in the atmosphere. A large ice-white glass-bubbled ceiling wraps the arena. A
A dark figure floats above outside of it. Mate's eyes look to the rows and rows of blues that fill the stands circling the court. They all look so familiar. Similar. Mate whispers to himself and looks ahead to a large marble desk looming in the distance that 8 figures sit along.
Nice uniform, you nonconformist coward!
A blue shouts, diving in on Mate, who ducks out of the way. Fuck you! A blue shouts back, taking the hit as a small brawl of blues breaks out. Mate looks back as he stumbles quickly down the path and out to an open area.
Stop the nonsense!
A booming voice shouts as all the blues quickly look up and settle into their seats. Mate looks to his right at a table of 2 faceless suited blues. The one nods and points his arm to a table at Mate's left.
Are you ready, mate?
The faceless blue quietly says as Mate takes his position in defense. He looks to the many masked and cloaked elders that preside before him. The surrounding crowd now sits in silence. Mate looks as cameras are positioned in corners. He chuckles. May I be uncuffed? He asks, breaking the silence. The center elder leans forth.
As a prisoner of the state, we must keep you restrained in all public settings.
I've heard that, though I speak with my hands and arms a lot, and for me to communicate effectively and precisely, it'd be preferable if I could move freely, Mate says. Especially for the fans at home, he nods up to the cameras. I think they like my shoulders when they move. He adds, looking modestly up to the elders. They speak amongst themselves and quickly turn back.
For this being a special occasion, we've decided you may be unrestrained.
An elder waves a guard to Mate.
Though any funny business and execution shall be attempted on spot.
The guard removes the cuffs and Mate sits down in his chair. Thank you, Mate says, now looking at a notepad and pen. He slides them away and looks up.
Inmate D7, before we do start this, we will say we find it very, well, frankly dumb that you would want to do such a thing. It's quite clear that you are guilty of your offenses. The prosecution team has ample evidence of your crimes. We have numbers of examples of improper expression. And, well, off the start, you're red. You've had a countless number of opportunities to turn blue, but here you sit before us, red.
The center elder finishes.
With some gunk all over your face.
An elder adds, startling some laughs amongst the table. Many in the crowd giggle along as well.
Silence.
The center elder says.
With all this said, a deal is still an option.
The elder now stands.
Do you wish to follow through with your request?
Mate pensively looks up. I do.
So be it. The prosecution may begin making their case.
The center elder says, sitting back. Thank you, your elder. The faceless blue stands, walking out from the table. My partner and I, the faceless blue motions to the other faceless blue at the table, unlike the defense here at points, don't want to or enjoy taking up everyone's sweet time. The blue continues, motioning to the elders and audience. We're not here to stand out or cause a ruckus. We'd like to make this sweet, short, and simple, where we can all be in bed, sound and sleeping. The crowd around claps. An elder motions his hand down, pulling away the noise. Thank you. The faceless blue motions. So we've only brought 3 pieces of evidence that we'd like to present. It continues as the other suited blue walks around with a clicker. A screen slowly retracts down from the ceiling and displays a blue screen. In the video we're about to show, you'll see inmate D7, or the performer, as he's also known to go by, at one of his shows. A recording of Mate on a large water stage starts as arms from the crowd jump around into the vision. At a certain moment into the song, which I guess is what you could call it, you see inmate D7 begin to levitate quite high, along with the majority of the audience. In the video, it shows Mate intensely glow light blue and slowly float high above the audience as many of them slowly join along, connecting small bands of light to Mate's powerful glow. The crowd in the courtroom begins to ooh and ah. What's on display here is pure, dark, energetic forces from another planet. It isn't art or entertainment as he proclaims it is. It's magic. It's more than magic. Something much more beyond the realms of expression, the faceless blue says, staring to Mate. You know it too, don't you? Mate looks to the elders.
Very good.
The center elder says.
You may continue on to your second piece.
As you wish. Inmate D7, our elders, members of the audience, would you please place your attention to section 105? A spotlight shines onto a small area in the crowd of thin, beautiful, heavily dressed and styled blues shining in the light. This, your council, audience, mate, the faceless blue says, looking to him. These are artists, true, real artists, clean, contained, similar, making work for blues to take in, enjoy, forget to. These wonderful and talented beings sell records. They advocate for our beautiful planet. They are the ones our children are meant to look up to, and our children's children will remember. The faceless blue says passionately, looking at all the courtroom and then to Mate. But not you, not your art or the beings you attract. Nobody should remember you. Mate shakes his head as a few distant blues come from high in the crowd, drawing the attention of the elders in prosecution.
Settle!
The center elder says.
Settle! Continue.
What we're displaying here is our beautiful blues over there don't break rules. They don't hate society. They create for society, for the betterment of society. They are our planet's source of happiness. They're pleasant, they listen and respect our elders. And the faceless blue stops. What else do they respect? Mate asks. Your elder, the faceless blue remarks.
Silence, inmate D7.
The center elder looks to the faceless blue.
I think your point has been made. Please, to the last piece of evidence.
Yes, your elder, the faceless blue says, looking to the other. Our last piece of evidence sits right before us. They point. Inmate D7, the faceless blue loudly says. As our elders have already stated, you failed to turn blue. You failed to even want to be blue. What makes you so significant? What makes you so separate? Look around. Look around you. Look at the planet around you for once in your pathetic life. Fuck you, Mate says. The crowd ahs.
Settle!
The center elder bellows. The faceless blue resets with a grin. It's that right there, isn't it? You just can't stand it. You just can't stand it when the faceless blue looks around. When we're right. All of us blues, and it's just you. Lonely, sad, angry little you. The faceless blue says, looking at the frown of Mate. He's not one of us, and never will be. He deserves to be forgotten and rot. They stare at each other. You wasted your chance. You let down our elders, and for that, damn you. The faceless blue turns to the elders.
Is that all for the prosecution? The center elder asked.
That would be all. And as we said, short, sweet, and stating the simple obvious. We rest our case and hand it to the defense.
Okay then. We'll reset shortly.
The elders stand from their mounts and turn away as the crowd meanders outdoors to concessions. Mate sits alone, looking to the bodies move. He looks to a camera pointed at him and stares deep into the lens eye, staring back. Hello, he mouths with a smile to screens all around as he rests back into his seat.
Boom.
The little blue looks to the winding lines, waiting for food and snacks.
Oh, I know I can make it, I know!
The blue dashes through other moving blues in the carpeted corridor. He looks to the concession stand and watches as the light above flashing food turns off, and the remaining blues wander away from line.
Wait!
The small blue shouts, running to the counter. Show's about to start up again, a heavy, sweating blue says, closing up the gate. The little blue takes a huff and slowly walks back down the corridor to a cutout entrance to the nearly full courtroom, buzzing with chatter. The little blue stands atop a staircase looking down to the two tables in the center. The two faceless suited blues sit at theirs as mate now stands waiting alone.
Come on, mate.
Kid! A decrepit blue shouts. Get to your seat! The little blue tucks his head down and runs up the stairs, past all the blues, intently staring down to the floor. Mate rubs his shoes together and then looks up to the sea of blues taking in his life. He takes a big breath and turns around to the counsel staring at him.
Inmate D7.
The center elder states. The crowd slowly mutes.
You may begin your case of defense for the charges of disordinance with state media, state expression, and the act of conjuring reclusive extraterrestrial knowledge energetically.
Mate's head snaps back. I'm sorry, what is the third charge? The center elder clears its throat.
Inmate D7. Throughout intermission, the council found the prosecution's evidence compelling enough to add an additional charge we found to be fitting for this circumstance.
Found or created?
Found, Inmate D7. We found it fair to announce to you for your knowledge. We've concluded these shows, the artwork you present to this world, as being consciously created, though channeled through distant lines of veiled communication. That, combined with your extreme privacy, we found the additional charge to be fitting.
Mate stares at the council.
We hope you find the short notice explanation sufficient. You may now begin your case of defense.
Mate looks around to the crowd and steps back. He takes in all the blue faces. Many old, though many young. Many unaware, many forgot. Many too beaten, many too lost. The training wheels fall off. Mate whispers as he starts to walk in a circle, staring to a point in the ground. He laps over and over again in the small area as the crowd grows anxious, locked into the hypnotism. One of the faceless blues taps the other in suit. Look at this guy, it laughs. Mate looks up and walks over to them, right in front of their table, staring into their unidentifiable faces. You stupid fucking idiots, Mate says, taking them aback. I can make this quick too, he says. My presence alone. Don't you see I already won? Don't you motherfucking see? Mate holds up his arms, praising them to the crowd. All your cameras, he points. All your show. Every blue on the planet seeing me. Who do you think they're going to want to be? You? Dull, round clay on the orb's board? Or me? He mockingly starts to lightly jump up and down, kicking out his legs. A being that's free. Mate starts skipping in circles around the courtroom. The crowd ahs.
Silence! The
Center elder bellows. No! This is my defense! Mate shouts aloud, growing in pace and energy. Look! He shouts to the surrounding crowd. Look! Don't you see? Blues in the audience begin to stand and hold up screens that flash. No! Mate shouts. You have to remember this! Remember these feelings! Remember your own mind! It's in your heart and mind I exist forever. Mate's pace quickens and quickens as more and more blues begin to stand and shout.
Order! Shouts the
Center elder as other elders begin to stand as the courtroom begins to shake. Shut up! Mate shouts at them with a smile as the entire audience in blues now stands jumping and shouting like never before. The elders look up at the circus enveloping around them. Many evacuate as the railing to the courtroom's left collapses with many cheers following behind. The center elder stands steady, taking in the raucousness. He looks forward to the ringleader staring back. Mate holds out his arms and shrugs. I only do my part, Mate says. as many blues have now made it onto the courtroom floor, hopping in circles, cheering around Mate as the walls shake more. Mate looks around to the blue bodies expressing themselves all around him. He smiles as a loud suction sounds from above, stirring wind in the courtroom. Blues transform from joy to frozen and look up in awe as the shining, seducing dark bottom of the orb floats down, slowly sucking blues from their seat into it as it proceeds closer. Mate stares up to the dark shadow casted from atop him, into the starry universe behind it, and quickly then to the elder who grins back with a clap as more and more blues get sucked into the orb. Mate looks to the scared faces leaving their feet into its darkness. He turns back and is quickly struck by a guard.
Sorry, mate.
Drops out the mouth into Mate's sinking consciousness, viewing the last of the blues being dranken into the orb. His blinking eyes look to the large blue arms dragging his feet down a hall with whispers walking in the air.
Execution is out of the question. We've executed enough blues.
But he caused this. He did.
There are things beyond your knowledge.
Mate's vision moves from a glowing dark purple ocean above him to strange rounded entities with only mouths.
He will not be getting away with this. I cannot allow that.
He wants to live forever, then so be it. He wants to be free. We'll grant his wishes. Take him to the station for his final goodbyes, and wait for my arrival.
Mate stands in only his overalls, on a small pad with shivering arms tied behind to a tall metal post. He looks below his feet to the edge of planet Blue and distant stars beneath.
Quack! 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 Quack!
3 blue guards giggle out, standing on a metal platform floating a tad above the blue planet's thin atmosphere.
Quack! Quack!
They continue as they dance around in Mate's hat, hopping and jumping around on the metal. "Remember me! Remember me!" they say, with Mate watching the mockery continue, and then up to the vast galaxy the system exists in. "So long, Mate," one of the guards say, tossing the hat over the railing. Mate watches it slowly float up, on and on into space. "Hope you're ready, buddy," they cackle. Mate looks to the group as the head elder from the council joins them with a laugh.
Good boys.
The elder says with a light grin over to Mate, whose eyes move past and look to a sun burning far away. Its pebble-sized glow warms the darkness of the invisible webbing energy around, only to be quickly extinguished. The orb slowly rises from behind the platform. The guards turn and look up to their blob reflections in the orb resting above them.
Inmate D7,
It says to Mate's small, isolated body.
you plead for your freedom. You plead for this eternal life.
Mate stoically stares at the orb as glares reflect off its roundness.
You may have it.
The pad Mate stands on jerks and moves back towards a larger metal structure.
Before you leave,
The orb says as the pad locks to the structure.
you may have a final word if wished.
Mate looks on as the pad slowly begins to tilt, leaning his back against the cold post. What? Mate looks side to side. Yeah, he says. The consistent indoctrination of this, your system, your mind control, it's not going to... It doesn't matter, Mate says to himself. It doesn't matter.
pad angles more and locks into place. Mate looks up into space, enveloped by its muteness. He lifts his head. The kids! The youth blues will see! A beeping above Mate's head starts to steadily sound. And you're going to evaporate into nothing. It will never last. The beeping speeds. Mate looks side to side again as the metal post digs into his spine. It doesn't matter. The beeping speeds more. Fuck you guys, Mate says. Butterflies grow from his stomach. Fuck you all! The guards and elder laugh. The beeping speeds higher.
Inmate D7.
The orb sounds. Mate looks up.
The show here is over. It's time for you to leave.
The beeping dings, catapulting the pad, intensely launching Mate ahead. Ah! Mate shouts. His vision flips and swirls with the sight of Planet Blue shrinking more and more in size. His freezing arms shake, trying to take control of his body's movements as the darkness swallows his red limbs. Get it together. He straightens out his abdomen and then legs. Come on. His arms balance themselves and he looks on, gliding through the void. I got to keep going. You can only keep going. He looks side to side, up and around. Infinity surrounds. Where am I going? He says to himself. How far? 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 Where?